Welcome to students of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. I hope you all are doing great, friends. And in earlier session we spoke about Auguste Comte and Herbert Spencer, and now here I am again with another two very prominent thinkers of sociology, Emile Durkheim and Max Weber. If Auguste Comte is recognized as father of sociology, it is Emile Durkheim who is considered as the first academic sociologist because of his immense contribution in strengthening sociology as a discipline and also its research endeavors. So friends, when we try to understand the major writings of Durkheim, it is very diversified, right from our division of labor in society, rules of sociological method, suicide and elementary forms of religion. Among his major contributions, we will see we have concepts like social facts, division of labor, suicide, religion, etc. Durkheim always considered social sciences distinct from natural sciences because it is the social sciences which deals with multiple aspects like human relationships. However, the method what we use in natural sciences and social sciences, they can be very different from each other. So now let us try to discuss about various contributions given by Emile Durkheim. Now, one among the most prominent contributions is social facts. So, what do we understand by social facts? They are the ways by which we act, which we think, feel, and all this is external to the individual because we all operate in a social context, in a social environment. So, social facts deals with all those aspects which connect with our way of acting, thinking, and also feeling. So, we say that society is a reality sui generis. So, what does this word sui generis means? It means something which is generated by itself, something which exists by itself and which does not depend upon some other being for its origin or existence, and it was always present and has no point of origin. So, if you try to understand about society, you will definitely agree. If I ask you when did society emerge, are you in a position to give a particular date and year? I don't think so, nor am I in a position to give you that date. So, it means society as a system, as a structure, it has always existed and it is generating by itself, it is existing by itself. So, this reality of society should be the crux of studying sociology according to Emile Durkheim, and that is where he comes up with the concept of collectivity, collective conscience. You might have read the most important definition given by Emile Durkheim. He says that sociology is the study of collective conscience. So, social facts basically revolves around these aspects. Then there are different types of social facts as well. So, one of the social fact is how is the population distributed over the surface of the territory. For instance, if you take Hyderabad as a city, how and what kind of population is distributed, what kind of population is living in Jubilee Hills, what kind of population is living in Tarnaka, what kind of population is living in Manikeshwar Nagar. So, how is the distribution of the population? That is one of the very critical types of social fact. Apart from that, what are the institutionalized forms of social life? What does it mean? That how is social life organized? Friends, without the organization of social life, society cannot exist. So, in this organization, what is the contribution of institutions like family, marriage, political system? Then apart from these two facts, there are also certain social facts which are not institutionalized. For example, they keep changing, they keep modifying over a period of time. As and when the technology undergoes changes, there will be changes in the social facts also. With reference to the characteristics of social facts, there are four very critical characteristics. What are they? Externality, which means which is outside us, which is external to the individual. Second one is what? Constraint. Constraint means what? Social facts try to regulate, they try to constrain our behavior. The third characteristic is what? Independence. Independence means what? Social facts definitely act in independent manner in almost every society and in every culture, and they are also general in nature. So, externality, constraint, independence and generality, these are the four important characteristics of social facts. So, apart from social facts, Durkheim's very important contribution is on division of labor. Division of labor basically means what, friends? It is how the work is divided in the society. So, you all will definitely agree with me that the way work was divided in the ancient society and the way the work is divided in the present society, the dimensions, the parameters, the reasons are completely different. So, Durkheim has tried to write extensively as part of his research. So, he was influenced when he was giving this concept of division of labor. To a great extent, he was influenced by Jean-Jacques Rousseau's thinking that social solidarity is neither dependent on politics nor economy. So, somewhere this concept of division of labor is connected with social solidarity, and that is where Durkheim comes up with two types of solidarity. What are they? Mechanical solidarity and organic solidarity. So, when I talk about mechanical solidarity, how can we understand that? So, in very simplest way you can understand it. Mechanical solidarity is that existed which during primitive stages, primitive times, ancient society, and organic solidarity exists in the modern scientific society. So, let us quickly try to brush up what are its critical characteristics. So, when we understand the characteristics of mechanical solidarity, it exists in small societies, there is lot of similarity of beliefs, there is no very rigid or strict specialization or strict division of labor, there are very intense social links and social integration. The mechanical solidarity societies are strongly based on religion and kinship. These are very important institutions, and they have a repressive law system, and the penal laws are very violent. Physical punishment is very critical component of mechanical solidarity. When we try to understand about organic solidarity, we find it in societies which are larger, more division of labor is there. There is a clear cut segregation between political functions, legal functions and economic functions in the society. There are greater individual differences. There is also interdependence to a great extent because of the heterogeneity of the social life and social functions. The social integration is slightly weaker when compared to mechanical solidarity, and the laws are restitutive laws, unlike what exists in mechanical solidarity. In mechanical we have repressive laws, whereas in organic solidarity we have restitutive laws, which means that there is a scope for you to repent and try to rectify your mistakes. Apart from division of labor, apart from social facts, one of the most interesting contributions of Emile Durkheim, which is very relevant even in today's time, is this concept of suicides. Usually whenever we talk about suicide, and especially because we all have gone through this terrible period of COVID and post-COVID, we all have become familiar with one thing, that suicide is a psychological dimension. That is what is a popular perception. But Durkheim says that no, suicide is just not a psychological dimension, it is sociological in nature. Don't you think it is a very interesting dimension, and which also requires contemporary exploration when we are thinking that suicide is only a psychological dimension? So, let us try to understand why Durkheim says that suicide is sociological in nature. So, Durkheim was interested to study the suicide as there was tremendous increase in the number of suicide cases, especially around 1850s in Europe, and industrial revolution led to industrialization, lot of social changes were taking place, and one very important dimension was individualism was developing at a massive pace. So, Durkheim tries to attribute suicide to the individual phenomena where there is a kind of a nervous disorder. Durkheim held that suicide could not be explained by individual or psychological factors only, but should also be explained by analyzing the link between social institutions and the individual. To make it very simple, for example, if I am connected very strongly, if I am connected with a strong integration with my family, if there are any issues of anxiety, depression, frustration, my family will be there to support me. I am having that freedom to discuss and share it with my family. But if I am not integrated with my family, then definitely the intense depression, frustration makes me think to take this extreme step. This is what Durkheim was trying to say, that integration with social institutions is very important factor. Then he has also given different types of suicides. He talks about altruistic suicide, egoistic suicide, anomic suicide and fatalistic suicide. So when it comes to altruistic suicide, it basically exists in the societies where individual consciousness is so submerged with the collective consciousness of the society. For example, when we try to understand about Jauhar was a practice whereby women would submit themselves to the holy fire in order to safeguard their dignity. So their individual consciousness was so much part of the collective consciousness that women didn't mind giving up their lives to safeguard their dignity. So that is a kind of altruistic suicide. In egoistic suicide, lot of importance is given to one's own ego. What I am feeling, I am very frustrated, let me take my life. So, lot of focus on individual feelings. Anomic suicide is from the word anomy. Anomy means a state of normlessness, where the existing norms and values in the society, they get degenerated thoroughly and person feels completely disintegrated. Apart from these three types, in fatalistic suicide, Durkheim is trying to tell us that it occurs when there is excessive regulation of the individual by the society. So, from suicide now we move on to religion. So, you might be wondering that Durkheim was wearing multiple hats and is talking about so many concepts. Indeed, yes, you must read more in detail about Durkheim's religion also. He has presented a wonderful writing, The Elementary Forms of Religious Life, in which he is talking about beautiful concepts like sacred and profane. Now, he has also given a very beautiful definition of religion as well for that matter. So, he tries to say that when you are trying to define religion, it includes your rituals, it includes your beliefs, it includes what you consider as sacred, what you consider as profane. So, in Durkheim's definition of sacred and profane, sacred is something which we keep it completely different. For instance, in your home or in my home, if I have to keep a religious book, for example, if I am embracing Hinduism and if I have to keep Ramayana or Ramcharitmanas, I will not keep it with my general sociology books. Definitely I will keep it with lot of reverence. Similarly, people who embrace Islam, they will keep Holy Quran with lot of respect, Bible by Christian families with lot of respect, Guru Granth Sahib with lot of respect. So, this concept of sacred means something which we consider it as very, very pure and we do not mix it with our day-to-day life. And in his explanation of religion, Durkheim is very much impressed by primitive religion because he tries to understand religion from its primitive forms, and in this he is trying to use an evolutionary approach, and at the same time along with evolutionary approach, Durkheim is also presenting a scientific study of religion which is based on observation. So, in his understanding of religion, it is made of beliefs and rituals. What is your belief? What is my belief? Do you believe whether God exists or not? So, if God is existing, what kind of God? Monotheistic, polytheistic, nature worship. And when you believe that God is there, then your rituals follow according to that. You all might have heard about Chilkur Balaji, who is also synonymous with Visa Balaji. Now, because you have a belief that if you are going to take 108 rounds around the holy idol, you will be bestowed with divisa. So belief, that belief is making you practice certain rituals of doing that 108 pradakshina or 108 holy rounds around the idol. So in religion, belief and rituals, they go hand in hand. Our rituals are according to what we believe in. Apart from that, sacred and profane, which I just discussed with you, profane is our day to day things. For example, if I tell you, child, take this laddu, you will eat laddu very casually, but if I tell you this is Balaji Prasadam, then you will make sure that you will remove your footwear and accept it with lot of respect and reverence. So again, this is what is the difference between sacred and profane. Laddu is a laddu, you know, it is sweet, but when it becomes prasad, it becomes sacred, and if it is only laddu, it is profane, means our day to day things. And all these rituals, beliefs, sacred, profane, they all get unified into one system, followed by a church. See, when I use the word church here, it is not the Christian worship place, probably it is the worship place connected with any religion. This word church has been used by Durkheim's definition in religion. So Durkheim's theories, his thoughts, I think you all need to further elaborate and explore and make it more relevant in contemporary times. Now let us talk about the next thinker, Max Weber. Max Weber is one of those founding fathers in sociology who wears multiple hats. He is so talented, his personality is so diversified, and his time period is between 1864 to 1920. And among his major contributions, you will also see the diversity in his contributions. He talks about ideal types, social action, authority, bureaucracy, Protestant ethics and spirit of capitalism. And my dear young friends, it is my request to all of you to please read the original writing of Protestant Ethics and Spirit of Capitalism, authored by Max Weber, and you will get beautiful insights about the relationship between religion and economy. So now coming to what is this ideal type. Now when, like, let us say you as a student, you might be having some thought about who is the ideal teacher. Now whatever perception is there in your mind, you will try to compare that perception with your existing teacher. So if you think that, okay, ideal teacher has to be punctual, so if your teacher is punctual, you will be putting her into ideal category. If you think that ideal teacher should be having good communication skills, should have great subject knowledge, and if your teacher is having that great subject knowledge, then you will again put her into the category of ideal types. So ideal types, in a very simplest sense, is a kind of a mental construct. Similarly, I will have a mental construct of an ideal student, and 1, 2, 3, are you matching with first, are you matching with second, are you matching with third, and when this comparison happens, then I will put you into the category of ideal types. So Weber is trying to present this ideal types as a kind of a mental construct of comparison, but without subjective bias. This is a very, very important element in ideal types. Weber is also talking about social action. See, whenever we are talking about social action, every activity, it happens in a social context. Like when this lesson is being recorded, there is a social context. When you are reading this lesson or when you are listening to this audio video lesson, there is a social context. So in every social action, what is the motive? For example, why am I recording this lesson at Ambedkar Open University? What is my motive? Who am I as an actor? Who are you as an actor, as a listener? So what is the motive? What is the motivation behind the actor? What is the skill set of the actors, whether as an actor, as a teacher, or actor as a student, actor as a parent, actor as a son, daughter. So please understand, actor here means the person who is performing an action in a social setup. So even in his concept of social action, Weber tries to bring in the concept of ideal types. Now he is also given us different types of social action: traditional action, emotional action, instrumental action, and value related action. Friends, sociology is very simple subject. Why I say so? Because the meaning you will derive from the word itself. So when I say traditional action, action which is rooted in traditions. For example, if I am touching the feet of my elders, it is my tradition, it is my custom. So that action becomes traditional action. Emotional action means which is guided by my emotions. Emotions can be happiness, anger, anxiety. So if out of happiness, if I am hugging somebody, that is also emotional action. And if I am angry and I am being very short tempered, even that is an emotional action. Instrumental action is the one where we are guided by the goal. For example, when you are listening to this audio video lesson, there might be some goal. When I am shooting this audio video lesson, there is a goal. So in any action where goal becomes important, that is a instrumental action. And the action where we are guided by values. For instance, when a soldier sacrifices his life for the entire country, the value is patriotism. When mother takes care of the child irrespective of all limitations, definitely there is emotion into that, there is also lot of values into it. Similarly, in connection with social action, Weber also talks about power and authority. You might wonder, these two are same words. Of course, for a layman, these two are same words, but as a student of sociology, we have to differentiate. Power is the ability to get the work done, and that ability can be by the virtue of your personality. For example, if your principal is telling you to come to college at 7 a.m., you might think, hey, what should I do going at 7 a.m., what is this, and we all will resist. But the moment you come to know that some Telugu prominent actor like Vijay Devarkonda or Chiranjeevi is coming, without any circular, you all will be there. So these actors are able to exert that power. They have the ability to influence things. So Weber is trying to say that we should differentiate between power and authority. Authority is what you get by the virtue of your position. For instance, Vice Chancellor of Ambedkar Open University, he has an authority to direct and guide things according to the UGC guidelines. That authority you do not have, that authority I do not have. So as students of sociology, we should be able to differentiate, and in this also, Weber is very big hearted and is giving us traditional authority, charismatic authority, legal rational authority. So the priest of a temple, he exercising traditional authority, charismatic authority. Any of the film actors, film actresses, they exert lot of influence. For that matter, Mother Teresa, Gandhi ji, they are also examples of charismatic authority by the virtue of their personality. And legal rational authority, which you get because of your administrative position. One of the most important contributions of Weber is bureaucracy. The concept comes into picture after industrial revolution. When huge industries started forming, there was a need to have a system which could take care of these industries. So bureaucracy in most simplest sense is what? It is a kind of a formal organization where there is a proper type of structure which is existing to work towards a certain goal. So there are clear-cut rules and regulations. There is a clear line of authority, who will report to whom, who is a superordinate, who is a subordinate. They all are guided by written rules and regulations. There is concept of rationality, means there is some logic. There is division of labor. There is also hierarchy, that is what I said, superordination, subordination, and every person is selected according to their qualifications, according to their technical qualifications. Then there are clear-cut definitions of your work. If you are in a particular position in the hierarchy, what is it that you will be doing, whom you are accountable, whom you are going to report, who is going to report to you, all these things are very, very clearly established. And at every level of this bureaucracy, there has to be some level of competence. And everything in bureaucracy is guided by rules and regulations. For example, if I take the example of Ambedkar Open University Vice Chancellor, he will not say anything verbal. Even if things are being said verbal, it will have no legal implications at all. So written laws, written orders play very, very important role. Now we come to one of the very interesting contributions of Weber on religion and economy. So with regard to religion and economy, as I told you in the beginning, I request you all to read his fantastic book, Protestant Ethic and Spirit of Capitalism. To put it in nutshell, my dear friends, Protestant ethics means what? Ethics, principles related with Protestantism, which is part of Christianity. So Protestant ethics and spirit of capitalism. What is capitalism? It is a type of economic system whereby the profit is a main orientation there. So Max Weber, he was trying to understand that how these two institutions, religion and economy, are connected with each other, and he did lot of research on this, and he also said that in India we could not develop capitalism because the predominant religion form here was Hinduism. So there were certain principles inherent as part of Protestantism which encouraged the development and expansion of capitalism. So what are those principles? Usually in Protestantism, which was also guided by Calvinism, put forth by John Calvin, we will see that usually in Protestantism it is believed that you work hard, you earn money, and the money which you are earning with lot of effort, putting lot of sincerity, you can give that money on interest to others. In other religions, charging interest on the money which you are lending is not considered very appropriate. So here, when you are, for example, I am lending you 100 rupees, and again when I am taking back from you, I am taking 110 rupees. So there is nothing wrong if I am taking this interest. So this particular process that helps you to magnify your amount, magnify your capital. Protestantism says that you are predestined to work hard, and when you are working hard, you are going to earn money, and that money you can charge interest upon, and that will help in the expansion of capitalism. So this is the most inherent principle which is based as part of Protestant ethics and spirit of capitalism, and in his contribution of Protestant ethics and capitalism, I think even today we have lot of relevance to this particular interconnection. So I would also like to request you all to read little more on John Calvin. And from John Calvin we have this concept of Calvinism. So overall in this particular contribution of Weber, Weber tries to find a correlation between religion and economy, and I personally feel he is very successful in doing so, because when he is trying to explore so much about Protestantism, he is very successful that Protestantism is definitely contributing in capitalism. My dear friends, to quickly summarize what we have done as part of Durkheim and Weber, we have to understand again the same thing, the time period in which these contributions were made. But as a student of sociology, I am thoroughly convinced that when Durkheim is trying to talk about mechanical solidarity, organic solidarity, or when he is talking about religion, or when he is talking about suicides, it is very, very relevant even in contemporary times. There is need for us to look into a very social challenge of suicides, whether it is farmer suicides, student suicides, or suicides because of dowry, to understand it from a sociological perspective. And Weber's contribution of bureaucracy, of course, today if India is performing and it is doing so well, and we are also the presidency, we are hosting the presidency of G20 to a great extent, the credit also goes to the Indian bureaucratic system. So we can do a very interesting study that what Weber said and how the present bureaucracy is existing. So I hope you have enjoyed this lesson to a great extent. Thank you so much.